Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena podcast. All right, welcome to the In the Arena podcast. Got one of my really good long friends, Steele McDaniel. I got a story that we'll leave off air the first time we hung out at your parents' house in college.
Whew, that must have been a rush event.
Yeah, no past Jared stories allowed.
Yeah.
We decided that a long time ago.
Perfect.
No college stories.
Yep. But I will say this: it's been fun watching you grow your business over the last couple of years. You've been doing it for
14 years.
14 years.
I
wow.
know, it's crazy.
Yeah, for 14 years, and just watching you from afar. A lot of the topics we're going to talk about today are what I admire about you, because when we started talking about this, I threw those things out there because I think that you embody those people. From my perspective, I know you're going to be humble about talking about it, but I admire that about you, so I'm excited to share everybody what you got going on.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, cool. So let's just kind of lay a foundation of kind of who you are. You went to LSU, it's where we met. You're from here.
Born and raised in Covington.
Born and raised in Covington.
Local vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very rare you get someone born and raised.
Yeah. And you're born and raised Slidell, right?
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah. So St. Tammany Parish. I am not born and raised here. I'm definitely a transplant, but
It's all right. We adopted you.
Yeah.
I'm almost at the point where I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere else. So like I'm kind of on the cusp of it being like where I'm from.
I like that you're tracking that.
Oh, for sure. Well, I got Alexandria to claim, so you got to like get that shit out of your system.
Yeah, you got to flush that out.
As fast as you can. So, but no, I love this area. I know it's a big part of your life, and your family, had businesses here too, right?
Yes.
So you come from a family that your dad, John, worked for your dad, and says things about your dad like discipline, grit, like intense when it comes to strategy around his business. SOPs were like, the highest priority for him, which is a big deal. You don't see a lot of businesses do that. So like, what was your family life like growing up to establish you and your sisters all having businesses for yourselves?
We got to watch first, front row seats of mom and dad doing their thing. I think they've been doing it for almost 35 years now. Yeah. So seeing that discipline with how often they were there grinding and hearing some of their stories throughout the years. Now, obviously, as a kid, you may not take them in as something that
for sure
you need to remember this and think about this. But the repetitiveness of it lasted.
Yeah.
And when you see someone you really care about and look up to do some of these things over and over again, it kind of makes you want to, or feel like you almost have to.
Yeah.
Do that as well.
For sure.
Because it's normal.
Are you the
Second
oldest?
nature.
Yes, exactly. I am second oldest. McCall is...
McCall's oldest, gotcha. Yep. Similar story for Lauren. I mean, she'll tell you.
Very similar. Yeah. Both parents own businesses. I mean, I saw the grind, and somehow they made the quality time for us. It was beautiful. It's beautiful to watch the struggle. And like you bring up that you don't necessarily know that you're taking it in.
For sure.
But when you have that hard time, all of a sudden those stories come to life.
Yes.
Right? And you're just grateful that foundation was built. I mean, I'm so happy every single day, regardless of the pressure that it put on the family. It was a good pressure. It was a teaching pressure, a discipline pressure. It was good.
So it'll make me feel good about the amount of time and energy that I'm putting into what we're doing at Arena, because and similar for me, like my grandfather is 85 years old, still goes to work every day. My dad, 65 years old, still goes to work every day. It's just that mentality is just hard work, and your responsibility is to provide for your family whatever way you're going to provide as a father, mother, business owner, provider, in whatever way. So it's cool to see. And you can recognize that in people. As I've met your dad before, and I know that he still embodies that. He's a serious dude. Like when you see him
he is.
And out at the restaurants and stuff, shake his hand. He's definitely a business person.
Yes, sir.
So and then so you went to LSU, you got out of college, and you operate a business now, and you've been doing it for 14 years. So have you been?
That is correct.
You owned your business for 14 years.
That is correct. Started it from scratch. I had
when you were a baby.
I know. I was 25.
Nice.
So went to LSU, got an internship. Got hired by that internship. It was a construction company. That company ended up going belly up, unfortunately, about 18 months in to my very first big boy job.
Yeah.
Oof.
and then didn't really have something to turn around to and start. Kind of put my resume out there for a little bit. Nothing that I was excited about. And back to family, McCade, my middle sister, just bought a piece of property with her husband at the time and wanted to build a house. And I convinced her that I would build it for her.
Such a brother thing right there.
I can do this. Yeah. Let me do this. And she allowed me to do it. So thankful to her for giving me that, first stepping stone.
Yeah. And y'all still speak?
We are. I've actually built maybe 3 houses for her.
My brother built my house too. So awesome. I was like, look, we're going to like each other when this is over, right?
That's awesome.
And then my mom and dad's support as well. Really, between them and my sister, that whole kind of created this little path.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It was difficult and struggle, especially the first 3 years of the company. Mm-hmm. Questioning myself, learning everything from scratch, and a lot of hurdles that kind of kicked me down, and I had to kind of regroup.
Yeah.
But actually, believe it or not, on the third year, I think I actually put my resume out there again. I was like, man, I'm grinding so hard. I'm not getting over the hump here. What am I doing? You know what I mean? What am I doing?
Knowing you can go somewhere else and get paid more.
Yeah.
Well, you got to make it through that.
At the very least, what I was making and work way less. Right.
Yeah. And just to let everybody know, like you and Lindsay have been dating since high school.
Correct.
Y'all were married probably at this point.
At this point, we were.
Yeah. So y'all are married.
We're very close to, or maybe we were engaged.
Yeah.
Yes. And didn't get hired from the interview that I had, which was a blessing now.
Yeah.
Because maybe year 4, right after that, it just started to click. And things just started to happen, and it's been wild.
Yeah, I want to take a step back to when you were at that first job. Me and Lauren had to talk a lot about this, talking a lot more about it recently when you're interviewing people and hiring people, and even for yourself going into your first job where you're a leader and a boss. Did you learn anything from that? You said you learned a lot from scratch, but did you learn anything from that 18 months about how to not operate a business potentially since that company didn't
I was so young. I was right out of college, and I was really trying to gather in most of the tasks that I were doing. So I wasn't on a high level in the executive office, if you will.
Yeah.
I was actually an assistant estimator. So I was working a lot in, gathering the drawings, taking the drawings off, working with the lead estimator on the project, learning about it, the way to submit the bid, the way the paperwork needs to be done. And right at the very end of my tenure there, I moved into some project management role. And learned a little bit of that. And after that, it shut down. I really didn't have a ton of business operations. It was more strictly how to estimate a project.
Sure. Which is probably a good idea to know to do that.
Oh, yeah. Those bids they're
that's
finicky.
Where it all starts.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. I knew enough to get me started.
Gotcha.
And then, well, not necessarily a problem.
Which is enough to get you in trouble.
Exactly. So I guess getting more and more in trouble, and was just fighting through it.
For sure. Which the struggle is what got you through that. And so something else that you said too about that 3-year mark.
Yes.
Right. Kids, how many people do you get into business and they think after year 1, after year 2, they're going to be at a place where they're cruising already, and then you realize 3 years in, and not even until you got to that 4th year where you started really making it work, that you got to grind through that half a decade of grind in order for you to actually get to a place where you're feeling like you made it, or at least getting close to where you're making it.
I feel like most people feel like it should be like a year. Like in their mind, at least, if I grind it for a whole year, I can get but in reality, it's way more than that. Not all the time. Don't get me wrong. And that's what we were talking about earlier about the discipline and continuing that fire and then being able to jump these hurdles and continue even until you keep getting knocked down, is where it separates the people that are going to be successful and the people that aren't going to be so successful. It doesn't mean you can't survive down here in this area. I shouldn't even have said down here, over here. But it's the other side. It's the fire.
It weeds out the unwilling.
Correct.
That's how I like to say it, because I'd never feel that I'm in a place to say that someone's not capable.
Sure.
But I can easily see they're not willing.
Exactly.
And it'll weed them out. That's beautiful.
There are so many people that are way smarter than me.
For sure.
That I guess don't have that little fire or grind or enough to get them.
Yeah. I have this theory, and I haven't really nailed it yet because I don't know how impactful it is to other people, but I know how impactful it was for me when I finished law school and I passed the bar exam, and I had gone through that struggle of not enjoying school, not feeling like I was good at it, not enjoying it, and then getting through and figuring out first semester struggling to make my grades, seeing how other people were able to do it more easily than I or working harder than me. And I realized what it took in order to get there. And after I accomplished that, I remember, I've told this story a bunch of times, calling my dad and be like, there's nothing in this world I can't do now. I know how much effort I can
priceless.
put in. Yeah. And like that mindset, I maybe not be able to join the NFL anymore. At one point I was like, maybe I could do that. Maybe a kicker or something. But
you're not willing? Are you saying you're not willing, Jared, to put in the work to join the NFL?
Where's my resignation? I'm gonna go. But anyway, yeah, that fire made me realize, and the energy and effort I had to put into that made me realize what it took to work hard. I just feel like some people haven't experienced that, and maybe haven't had the benefits that we had growing up, to seeing our family members grind through stuff to be able to know what it takes to have that grit to be a business owner and be successul.
I think the benefit is knowing struggle, whether it's through their eyes or whether your parents let you sit in struggle before. Those are the things that I'm grateful for. And I it's like a challenge as a parent, because I think our kids have it so easy. And I'm sure every generation says that, but I'm like, you literally don't live in reality. And my husband and I joke, like, do we manufacture struggle for them so that they can actually understand it and see it? And so while some parents choose to kind of shield their children from their day-to-day struggles, I want to invite them in. Because the answer is not manufacturing pain and struggle for them, but watch you persevere. Let them see you struggle and persevere.
I like that. I'm going to use that. Yeah. Because I feel like I'm almost going home and I put my cape on a little bit and try to make sure everybody's happy and good, and I'm happy and good. And sometimes we're not. Sometimes I'm struggling, right? So maybe showing them a little bit more, and something I can work on as a father.
Being vulnerable. Like, ooh, I'm snapping at you. I'm sorry. I had a hard day. It was Uncle Jared's fault. It's usually how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, but like some of the things that I try to do with my kids is that, like, we're talking about fitness and all that stuff. I haven't been, over the last couple of years, haven't been focusing on as much, but I can tell, even by me going out and exercising and inviting my kids out in the garage and working out with me, they see the effort that I'm putting in every day, and like they want to participate in it.
Yeah.
And they just get to where it's just like they see us doing it, and it's not easy, and they struggle, and they want to be a part of it, even if it's just something small like that they want to focus on. And sports was a big part of my life growing up too, and it was a big part of our family. So it was the ebbs and flows of sports that kind of helped us stay grounded in like life being hard, and because we had
learning how to lose.
Yeah, sports are important, especially for our family as well.
For sure.
We're a big sports fan.
Family. What did you play whenever you were growing up?
My biggest thing was football.
You're a football guy?
More in the high school time, but yes, it was something I really enjoyed.
Speaking of that, we talk a lot about too, whenever you're growing up and you have people outside of your family that kind of inspired you and kind of helps you stay focused on what you need to do. And we're good role models for us. I mean, I can tell you that growing up for me, like a lot of the coaches that I spent time with are still people in my life that,
for sure,
I can remember made a huge impact on me. You went to St. Paul's, right?
St. Paul's 8th grade, transitioned over to Covington High, was where my real high school began. I had it really cool because when I was younger, my dad coached high school football, was able to win a couple of state championships with Salmon High School when they were.
Wait, where?
There. Salmon, yeah. Did you go?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Of course.
There you go.
Of course. We were best with sports.
Yes. Y'all really?
Go Spartans.
I was the ball boy, so I'll be a part of that.
Wait, your dad coached at Salmon?
He did, under Stubbs.
Yeah, I was there. All right, I know your
dad.
dad.
It lines up perfectly.
I know your dad.
So when I went to play at Covington High, it was so cool because my dad actually got offered a position to coach at Covington High. And it was at my senior year, I was a linebacker, and he was the head coach of all linebackers. So that was a very special thing.
Did he do linebackers at Salmon?
I don't believe he did.
Because Jason was linebacker
at Salmon.
Okay. All right.
So, no way. That was your high school?
He was my coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
How was it? Did he treat you different than everybody else when you're on the field?
As he always has.
Yeah.
Yeah. A different standard.
That is wild. And so your dad was doing all this while he was operating his business?
Correct. Yes. And that was just time that he donated. He wasn't, I think that at the time, I don't know what the rules are now, that they can have one volunteer coach, and he was the volunteer coach.
I can tell you the volunteer coach we had when I was growing up was wide receiver tight end coach, and he was somebody who was like huge impact on my life. Like the head coach was, and I did not see eye to eye at that point, but he saw something in me and he put me in the game, and the head coach would like miss me for like a play and let me actually go out there, and then he'd realize I was out there and grab me off face mask and drag me off. But he just, the other guys really saw something in me, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, so coaches are important. And then for me to have my dad double as that was a really cool experience.
So have you worked with your dad before?
As far in a business standpoint, yep. So he has his company, and I've never, other than like summers when I was younger doing like clerical type stuff, because they would make us work during the summers, which hopefully my son's 9, but hopefully soon we can probably get that.
You want to work for us in the inside air conditioner law firm, or work for you?
No, not a contractor's kid.
Yeah,
look, I was on job sites.
Job sites.
I had to check numbers on bids.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
My brother poured concrete starting at 10.
Wow, that's not an easy task. The concrete trade.
Yeah, you got to get them out there, dig them holes. The whole football team always just dug for all the concrete pours. It was like a trade-off.
Yeah,
nice.
You have built-in workers, all his friends.
I loved it. That sounds awesome.
So does your dad's mentality towards business, does he help you, give you any guidance when it comes to that kind of stuff?
For sure. So I'll bounce some ideas off of him, and then mostly just watching, to be honest with you. They're busy doing their own thing, but throughout the years, I've been able to watch them.
Yeah.
And it's cool right now because we are a small portion of their building. They have a building down the street, and my company is up on the second floor in like a little corner. Mm-hmm. So I'm around them all the time.
So you're intermeshed.
I can walk into his office anytime and talk to him about it. In the first 8 years of SRD, it was just me. There was nobody else in the office. I answered all the phones and everything like that. And I'll tell you a quick story of my very first bid as well as hurdle. Got all the bonding, which is very difficult. For a 25-year-old kid with $0,
Sure.
With no experience. Got insurances, got all the licenses, got everything that you think you need, and bid on a project at Southeastern. It was a bunch of concrete works throughout their campus.
Yeah.
And we were the low bid, and I was so jacked up, man. Ran into my dad's office. Dad, I won my first job. It's so awesome. And I can hear my phone ringing in the back, and I run back to the, hello, Steele-R Development, you know what I mean? And it was this deal, yeah. And he goes on to tell me, hey, you submitted your bonding paperwork, but it wasn't signed original. It was scanned in. I said, oh, okay, well, no worries. I'll run over the signed one right now. So unfortunately, it has to be signed in original when you submit it. So you're going to have to disqualify you. And that was so difficult. That was the first one. And there was many more after.
You've never made that mistake again, though.
Never made that mistake again.
Never.
Made plenty after. And then after I was to make those next mistakes, never made those mistakes again.
So is that so? And I think this kind of goes back to what I was asking originally. John always talks about how much standard operating procedures were such a big part of your dad's business, and we talk about that. In order for you to have a business that you can scale and then ultimately sell or pass on to somebody else, you have to have processes for people to be able to adapt.
Sure.
I'm sure that now became part of your standard operating procedure for you to make sure you had an original signed and delivered with the bid. Does your dad's processes and procedures, has he kind of rubbed off on you or shown you the ropes on how those things operate? Because John said it's like
watching
hyperlinked craziness whenever you go.
We've never sat down because his thing's different. His tree of paths, I guess, a workflow could take are pretty intense, especially because they're in the insurance company. They're in the medical software billing company, and then with the insurance constantly changing. I think Obamacare really threw a huge loop in everything, but they're constantly having to change and update, and that's why theirs is so important. Mine is more steady as far as once we get it figured out, it's kind of the same for the most part. But yes, seeing what they do, they have 100 or 200 depending on employees. I mean, that's incredible to manage.
For sure.
And me, the first 8 years was all by myself. So I didn't really, it was more teaching myself.
Yeah, for sure.
But now I have a few people to help me out in the office. It's very important to make sure that they know step one,
for sure,
through whatever it's going to be.
More people, more problems.
And that, yes. But people are good too, though.
When you're leading them,
create. Exactly.
Most of the time, we have to look in the mirror with those people issue.
Sure.
Unfortunately, all of our clients, we have to be the bad guy to say that.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
It
true.
also allows you to go play golf on a Monday while your people are taking care of the work, which is also a big deal. I mean, I see whenever we're talking about taking vacation that, I think inherently the struggle is there. Like when we want to go, the anxiety creeps in a little bit, and she always tries to. In her brain, I watch her process it, and she's like, but it's okay because we have a business and we have a procedure and a process for that. She's never admitted that. She's probably going to roll her eyes at me while I'm saying it, but
I roll my eyes a lot.
Yeah, but it is It is true. You like the good people are good if you have the good people in your processes, and it allows you to take vacation. You should be able to take off if you're going to grow a business that's sustainable. Otherwise, you just have a job that you're operating every day.
And the people are very important because it doesn't really matter how great your SOPs are. If they're not being followed, then it's irrelevant. And you also have to have someone making sure that that's done properly.
Is that your roles in the organization?
That is my role. I have a lot of roles, unfortunately.
So how is your business structured in a certain organizational chart structure, or are you?
No.
So but how are you designating tasks between your employees?
A lot of people do a lot of different things in the office. Try not to nail someone down to one thing because we're a smaller personnel group. So if one is to leave or move on, it really would leave a big hole if someone couldn't kind of step in and fill. So try to kind of share the tasks a little bit so we're not relying on one person. So that's something that we do. But there's two companies in one, really. The 14-year-old company is a general contracting firm, and then there's a 5-year-old company that's a commercial flooring, which we act more as a subcontractor to larger GCs.
Gotcha.
So there is a kind of divide within the company where there are people that are strictly doing flooring stuff, and there's people strictly doing GC stuff, and then there's a little hybrid there.
Yeah. You hire yourself for the flooring work?
Oh, yeah. yeah, for sure. Beat myself up on pricing and get it figured out.
Treat your business like everybody else treats it. Yeah. Before we kind of pivot off, I do want to talk a little bit about your family and how you and Lindsay kind of balance your life, right? I mean, like part of the reality of having a small business and a family is that you've got to be able to have a give and take. I mean, Stephanie doesn't work right now, so it's nice because she can handle the house.
Sure.
But Lindsay has a job, and she's a successful real estate agent. And, Lauren and Jason both operate their family. I think a lot of business owners will limit themselves because of the fact that they don't know how to create leverage for their family life too.
Sure.
So like, how do you and Lindsay deal with the day-to-day of being business owners and the ebbs and flow of that and also raising a family?
Lindsay is a lot cooler than I am, and that's so thankful for that.
Second that, Lindsay.
And the balancing of family and work mainly falls on Lindsay, to be honest with you. And I do everything I can to help. Don't get me wrong. In the mornings, I'll be there and get kids dressed and awake and help pack the bags or whatever the case may be. And I enjoy that little small moment of time in the mornings to interact with them.
Are you sure you should be doing that?
I think I need to.
I remember one time Jason had stayed later because he runs in the morning and leaves really early. Not so much anymore, but this is when they were younger. And I have been having my kids dress themselves since they were about 3 or 4 years old.
Wow. And
he was there and he was like so proud that he was dressing them and doing their hair. And I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. I have made them self-sufficient. Get the heck out of here. Right? Do not mess this up. So if that's your job, cool. But don't be messing up the work that Lindsay's doing,
Totally understand. No, it's a team effort. And maybe I need to talk to her about how we can make them do more things on their own. But my 3-year-old right this moment needs a little help.
Yeah, 3 for sure.
And then from there, Lindsay's, doing the carpool stuff, dealing with the afternoon activities. I usually get off between 4 and 5, depending, and I'll head straight to wherever I have to go to help with that.
Yeah, divert.
Whether it be football practice lately or a game last night. So yes, Lindsay carries the blunt of that. And I think the teamwork between us is important. And it's never going to be 50-50 on all aspects of life. Sure. But very thankful for her. Yeah. And allowing me to spend the time that I need to on the business side of things.
And then the real estate business is good for that because I think she does a great job of treating a real estate business as something that allows to bring revenue into y'all's house, but money into y'all, income into y'all's home, but also is able to allow her to do what she needs to do with the kids and spend time with them.
The schedule that she has, she can manipulate for sure. Easier than like a 9 to 5. Yeah. But it is a full-time job though as well. So she does. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So Lindsay does the real estate. You're doing the contracting and build and the construction company.
Correct.
Where's the real estate play into that for you in your mind? What's the purpose of your real estate investments that you have or will have?
So the real estate company was created because Lindsay wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. That's why it exists. without
That's how most
her,
things starts. My wife wanted to X.
Right? So without her, if she decided she didn't want to do anymore, we would probably let that side go. On the investment side of things, I just really would, in trying to acquire semi-passive income, if you will, so I can offset some of the ebbs and flows of the construction world. Don't get me wrong, we've been very fortunate to always have a decent amount of work, but always planning ahead's never a bad thing.
For sure.
And so
you have a lot of discipline in your real estate investing too, which is something else that I admire. I mean, you have a variety of different types of investments in real estate, right? You don't have just one type. You don't have one. You're not just a single family guy. You're not just a multifamily guy. You're not just a commercial guy. You've got a little bit of everything. And so I think some people, when they get into real estate, are just trying to acquire as fast as they can and get to that passive investment points where they can quit their 9-to-5 job.
Sure.
But you have a different mindset towards it, right? This is a long-term thing for you, so that 20, 30 years from now, right, you have a position where you can maybe take a step back if you want to.
That'd be wonderful. My goal is, don't get me wrong, I have the grit, the fire, but I do have a timeline, not necessarily an absolute number, but I do know that I don't want to have to grind so hard all the time. So there is some future planning that has taken place, and the diversity of the real estate is important. Where I'm not too diverse is the area. I've concentrated a lot of those investments in Mandeville, Covington, and Madisonville. I've been here, born and raised, like we mentioned earlier, and have seen what has happened here. And I don't feel as if it is going to change in a negative way. I feel like it may slow down, but continue that up and to the right, this area. So I'm pouring my investments in this area.
You mentioned too that the affordable homes was a big part of your mindset too, right? Didn't you mention that at one point?
Most of our single family or multifamily homes are more affordable.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was intentional at the time, or I just didn't have enough money to buy anything cooler.
It's good though, because it's what's needed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, when we think about, building the ecosystem, all of that economic development is focused on being able to house the employees for these bigger organizations. And when they're coming and assessing our area, they love it. We have a lot to offer, but what we don't have is those little small parts like affordable housing to house them, and the recreation departments for the kids. So those type of things and your investments definitely help our community move forward. So It's positive.
Yeah, that's part of our mindset.
Buy more. No, I'm kidding.
That's for several reasons, but our mindset is similar. We want to make sure that we're putting quality, affordable homes in this community, because we luckily get to do some larger real estate investments, and we're closing transactions. But being able to put more good into the community and helping it grow in that way is something that's important to us too. So I knew that y'all had mentioned that at some point in y'all's investment career. So I want to make that point that y'all are not only impacting the world or the St. Tammany Parish from a business standpoint, but also trying to provide places for people to live and make it a better place.
And most of the places that we acquire are unlivable. So they're either ran down or have other issues. And then on the construction side, we'll come in and rehabilitate that property.
Yeah,
so
sure.
The community also gains asset, if you will, from having this whole rundown place to be something special, and then someone gets a decent place to live if they choose.
So I can tell you two things I'm looking forward to is the next time I see the navy blue Dodge SRD truck driving down the street. It's black. It is black. Okay, maybe the blue on the side makes it maybe feel like it's navy. The black Dodge driving down the street. You've had that truck for a long time.
I have. I was talking about that the other day with somebody. I might need to look into something.
Oh man, it's like I think it's a.
Well, you got a 9-year-old, so if you'd hang on a little bit longer, it'd be a great first
6 more years. Well,
so our family, it's like, what work truck would you like?
Yeah. And the second thing I'm looking forward to is Coach Steele coaching linebackers whenever he gets older.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
Play some linebacker with
that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. You did great. I love hearing your story.
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.